So when discussing the ESFP today, I'll be discussing each of their subtypes for the extroverted sensing and introverted feeling subtypes. This will help you indicate what a person's personality looks like from afar if they fit these kind of characteristics if they are ESFPs, but I'll also provide you with key examples from the internet or celebrities that will help you identify these factors. So first, I'll be describing some key descriptions for these subtypes, then provide you evidence afterwards to support my claims. As an open source, I am using Meged and Ovkarov's descriptions to find out who they are. So we'll start with the extroverted sensing subtype, and I'll start with a description of it and then lead you to the important parts. So the sensory subtype, as they describe, is it resembles an emotional, gutsy, and nervous person. Behind their anxiety and sincere discomfort, the constant thirst for vigorous activity appears. Undertakes too much and thus wastes much energy in vain. Despite their efforts to be diplomatic, they often seem critical and categorical. Sometimes indignant, but nonetheless does not forget to give compliments. While on the one hand, they are able to look down on the interlocutor and touch him or her with their pricky jokes, on the other hand, they can be very kind and willing to prove their kind nature, if necessary. Possess good artistic abilities with which they amuse visitors, usually thin and conscious of figure, and periodically playing sports. Eyes are often small or deeply implanted, gestures display impatience, and movements are nervous, gutsy. Often change their pose, their gait appears weakened, shaking, speech tends to be either muffled or rapid. So I just gave you a quick description of what they are, and what I plan to do is to show you the videos for each subtype of how they appear for certain people, of certain celebrities, and you can test out yourself to see if the description I'm giving actually fits the description here. So I will go back to describing these people, but I'm going to go for the introverted feeling subtype next before we test out the subtypes formula for these types of subtypes. So the introverted feeling type is the active, mobile person and willingly moves to establish useful social connections. They are able to give compliments by speaking to others in detail about the opportunities and or abilities that they perceive, value their ability to make impressions. They have an intimate intonations in their voice coupled with the confidential manner of dialogue, charmingly allow them to win the favor of the interlocutor quickly. Often have convex eyes, gestures are smooth and confident, they're inclined to dress unusually brightly and extravagantly, however their tendency to corpulence may limit their ability to dress as they please. Gait is elastic and proud. So that was the introverted feeling subtype, and now you have the general ideas of the descriptions. Now I'm going to pinpoint the most important parts of these descriptions and then test them out to existing celebrities. You may disagree with me, that is fine. I'm not 100% perfect on this, but I do make a strong case for these personalities, and I hope you can see it too. So we'll start with the extroverted sensing subtype. So when you're looking for one, look for these kind of variables. If they're emotional, gutsy, and a nervous kind of person, and behind their anxiety and sincere discomfort. So it's not to say that other personality types don't get nervous, but it seems when you notice an extrovert sensing subtype for ESFPs, they tend to be very nervous looking, or they have a tendency to feel nervous. And I will show you some I will prove it to you after. Their body weight is usually very thin. Their gestures, and that means the way they move their hands, tends to be very impatient and nervous and gutsy. And they tend to speak very rapidly. So when I show you the videos, I want you to look for these kind of variables. That the fact they're nervous, they tend to be thin, they tend to be very rapid with their hand gestures, and their communication style tends to be very rapid. Now in comparison, when you're looking for the other subtype, introverted feeling ESFP, notice these kind of key variables. Notice that they have a very confident manner in dialogue when they're talking to people. And it tends to be very emotional, I would say. So I would say it's emotional confidence. There aren't people who aren't confident, but they tend to have a very personal take when they discuss with people. And you will notice within their discussions that they fit this kind of characteristics. Oftentimes, they have a convex eyes, so their eyes tend to be more circular, and their gestures tend to be smooth and confident. So when you see their hands, it tends to be very modest but confident and strong. And the way they dress tends to be very, I guess, extravagant or brightly, so that means it tends to be very evident for other people to notice. So when you're noticing ESFP extrovert subtype, notice that they're very emotionally confident, and that's the key variable I would look for. Now I will leave you to a bunch of videos that explains the extrovert sensings and introverted feelings. And if you have any opinions, let me know. But I tend to use this formula and test it out with other people, and I can see there's noticeable patterns. If you see noticeable patterns of what I'm saying too, I'm glad I made a difference. If I didn't, it's possible. But anyways, give it a chance and see what you see.
For having me.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
What was it, last week?
2 days ago.
Your birthday was 2 days ago.
2 days ago, I turned 30.
This is the big, What do you feel?
I'm 30.
What's going through a 30-year-old mind?
I mean, I feel pretty 30.
Oh, no. Stop.
I feel, well, what does that mean? I mean, feeling 30. It's not old, but it's not old.
All right, let's talk about this season. What is your take on how this game has been played this summer?
I think what we've seen this season is an alliance that's been very strong, and they've steamrolled through the whole game. The thing that's been surprising to me is that these guys haven't turned on each other yet. There's been multiple opportunities to, and none of them have made that move yet.
You said yet.
Yes.
So it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's at the point now where if, say, Victoria goes home, they're going to have to take a shot at one another. It's going to be interesting to see who takes that first shot.
Who do you think that person's going to be?
You know, I think...
To be able to do what we love to do, that we don't give ourselves the value and worth that we deserve. I think women do have this problem as well. And I think now and in this moment in time, in this day and age, it's shifting for women, and I feel like it also has to shift for...
Angry because as he said, I'll do whatever I can to help. When somebody said, I've been hypnotized before, if you don't want to be hypnotized, you will not be hypnotized. But I wanted to be hypnotized because they said it was a hypnotist, and I thought we would do some comedy, and what you don't see is that was, unlike the show tonight, it was not live. So it took him a half an hour to hypnotize me, and I was fully under, and I thought he was going to make me do funny stuff. I didn't realize he was going to make me shake hands. Had they told me that, I probably would have declined. Sure. Because...
People just try out new things, so.
The new you, the new woman, grown sexy.
Grown sexy, yes.
Let's talk about the wedding. Obviously, it was on live television. Millions watched. Have you guys watched?
That was, so we went to Bora Bora for the honeymoon directly after the wedding, and the first thing that we wanted to do when we got home was watch the wedding. And we were blown away because there was so much that we didn't get to see. Yeah. It was awesome. And not only that, I mean, we have the beginning of our story, the first time we met, all the way through to the wedding. So we'll be able to one day sit down and show our kids this is where we met, and this is where it ended up.
So the wedding was beautiful, and the reception, unfortunately, you guys weren't invited to the reception, but we had a blast, dancing and partying all night and celebrating.
Like the mechanical department, and they said, what do you know? I was like, I need duct tape, quick. And they were like, is there a pipe broken? And I was like, no, cover on. Yeah, and they were like, we have packing tape. I'm like, that's see-through, so I'm just gonna walk around like crunchy sounding cha-chas.
We were very fortunate here. He directed our show once.
Yes, I heard that.
A crazy experience. It was. He's one of maybe the most creative person I've ever met. I mean, he had our couches like come to life, and the desk stood up, and it was really like he turned the show inside out.
What did he do on the show?
Twisted in a knot. I almost didn't even need to be there. But what is it about him that appeals to you as an actor working with him?
He's a mad scientist. You know, he's a true artist. He just sits back at something and looks at something and goes like, well, okay, what if it was upside down? Would it make a difference? Am I in a dream world? Whatever. It's like, I used to argue with
a complete vegetarian, and and then she got pregnant and suddenly just wanted to eat a cow's head. Raw, she didn't care.
What did you do about that?
I did what I was told. I didn't care whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted it. And but I'm glad you're feeling well.
Yeah.
You look beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And we used to. It's funny because I was thinking about this today. I used to interview you in New York, and now I live out here in Los Angeles, and you're here a lot too. How do you like LA? Are you okay with LA?
I love it. It's such a different city, I think, than when you just visit, when you start living here. People are really friendly. In New York, people are really nice, but they don't necessarily, there's not like the anonymous person on the street being like, hi, how are you, good day, or, and here, people do that. It's really nice.
That's because you're Natalie Portman.
And
it's a paparazzi picture.
Oh, it's just a regular.
Yeah,
so you're not
you can't-
naked. or
No, you
anything.
can't sue.
Oh,
But he has
okay.
no business reading Playboy.
Really, that's terrible.
He says it's his friend is a security guard there, so somehow he has to look at the magazine. I mean, I don't know.
His friend probably just wanted to help.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
it was. Now you have a new boyfriend. I just met him. No, what's his name? I love his name. What's his name?
Cash.
Cash Warren. Now,
Yeah.
is he a Chippendale dancer? I love that name, Cash Warren. Cash Warren. He
That's
fights
not
crime on the
very
side.
nice.
No, no. Well, he seems like a nice guy.
He's wonderful.